It's possible that Donald Trump just gave Ukraine a deadline. The possibility that US voters will decide the fate of Ukraine next year increased due to the ex-president's refusal to say whether he wants President Volodymyr Zelensky to win the war after Russia's unprovoked invasion, and his absurd claim that he could end the conflict in 24 hours. The remarks made by the Republican frontrunner at a CNN town hall event in New Hampshire, with the most recent indication that the politics of the war in the US may deteriorate as the 2024 campaign heats up, putting additional pressure on Zelensky's upcoming offensive to deal a decisive blow in the second year of the conflict. The possibility of a Trump re-election could also encourage Russian President Vladimir Putin to continue a war that is killing a lot of civilians and causing a lot of Russian casualties, in the hopes that he can take advantage of any reduction in the multi-billion-dollar US aid flow to Ukraine. Trump's choice to join the discussion directly also reflects the war's major players' evolving political strategies. That goes for both Putin and President Joe Biden, who presided over a scaled-back Victory Day parade in Moscow this week, after failing in his war goal of destroying Ukraine's sovereignty. President Joe Biden staked his legacy as a defender of democratic principles in the US and abroad on Ukraine's survival. On Wednesday, May 10, 2023, former President Donald Trump takes part in a CNN Republican town hall, moderated by Caitlin Collins of CNN, at St. Anselm College in Goffstown, New Hampshire. Trump won't vouch for supporting Ukraine in a conflict with Russia. Long before the election in November 2024, battlefield developments might decide how the war plays out. Furthermore, it is dangerous to draw ambiguous conclusions from any remarks the former president makes, because he frequently appears to live day by day and minute by minute, rather than adhering to long-term strategic plans. Though there is evidence of Russian atrocities in Ukraine and an arrest warrant out for Putin from the International Criminal Court, Trump's refusal to call Putin a war criminal has reignited speculation about the ex-president's motivations for repeatedly bowing to the Kremlin strongman. The capacity of Trump to politicize the US lifeline of billions of dollars worth of weapons and ammunition for Zelensky's government, as well as his personal and political motivations for making Ukraine a campaign issue, should not be understated. Trump demonstrated in New Hampshire that he sees the conflict as the ideal platform for his populist nationalism, claiming that Biden is more concerned with ensuring foreigners' security than the needs of Americans in terms of their economy. In the event of a recession that could harm Biden's re-election campaign next year, this message may be especially potent. It's also unclear whether Biden would want to continue investing billions of dollars in Ukraine as his campaign enters its crucial months, despite highlighting his leadership of the West as a significant foreign policy achievement. While Ukraine fights to drive Russian forces from its territory in a long-awaited counterattack and relies on the steadfast support of Biden, who has rekindled the Western alliance in its support, the prospect of a Trump presidency is currently a long-term worry for Ukraine. After all, the next election isn't for another 18 months, and Trump might not secure the Republican nomination or the presidency. Trump is attempting to capitalize on recent polls that show a softening of Republican support for the prominent US role in supporting Ukraine, but GOP support for Ukraine in Congress is still strong, despite high-profile anti-Zelensky rhetoric from some of his closest allies on Capitol Hill.